Hello everyone, welcome to the new series of Drishti IAS. I am Ritu and today we are going to discuss an important topic of geography and environment. So you all know that geography is associated with GS1 and environment is associated with GS3. So this topic is important from both GS1 as well as GS3. So what is the title of today's topic? So the title of today's topic is Fukushima nuclear water release. So before going into the points of discussion, first of all we are going to discuss about the Fukushima nuclear crisis. So what happened in 2011? On March 11, 2011, the tsunami has hit the Japan, and perhaps not just Japan, the world has seen the worst nuclear disaster ever. And it has seen that the Fukushima power plant of the Japan was highly affected, and the region was totally affected. As a result, we can see that 18,000 people have killed in that region, and more than 1.5 lakh people have migrated and evacuated from that region. And what happened on that day, that because of the tsunami and high earthquake, the cores of the power plant was affected, and it has called as a nuclear meltdown, and it has melted. Because of it has called as the one of the biggest nuclear meltdown. So moving to the points of discussion part. So what is the points of discussion? First of all, we are going to discuss about this news, that this thing has happened in 2011. Then why we are discussing this thing now? And then we are going to discuss about Fukushima. What is the water being released into the Pacific Ocean? So what are the reasons that why there is a release of water in the Pacific Ocean? And then is Japan allowed to do so? That is it allowed that they can release water randomly? And then how will the water be prepared before it's released? That it will be purified or not, or filtered or not. And then we are also going to discuss about a material, which is how dangerous is tritium. So we are going to discuss about this element, and then we are going to discuss about how the Pacific Ocean acts as a massive diluent. And after that we are going to discuss about what are the alternatives for dealing with the Fukushima cooling water. So there should be a different alternative related to it. And then we are going to discuss about practice question for prelims. So moving to the news part. So you may wonder that this thing has happened in 2011. Then why we are discussing this thing in 2023? Because Japan has decided to release the nuclear power plant water into the Pacific Ocean. And this has created much debate in the whole world. And so many environment experts have said that this should not be done, because it will not just affect the human, it will also affect the marine animals, and it will also affect the environment as a whole. So this is the brief news we are going to discuss about. So moving to the next slide. So next slide is related to what are the reasons for the release of the water. So the first reason is that storage tanks which is stationed at the nuclear power plant is full. So there should be release of the water. And what are the second reason? So the second reason is that to cool the nuclear power plant, there should be high availability of the water. And each day we need 170 tons of the cooling water. So there is a more wastage of water in this. Because of that, Japan government and other agencies have decided that the water should be released to the Pacific Ocean. And what are the other reasons we have? That rain and groundwater have been seeping into the site, which will create more contamination onto that side. So these are the reasons that made ground to release the water. So moving to the next slide. Next slide is about, is Japan allowed to do so? So Japan has consulted with its own agency, and it has also consulted with the International Atomic Energy Agency, because Pacific Ocean does not belong just to Japan, it belongs to the whole world. So it cannot do anything without the permission of the International Atomic Energy Agency, and it has to take consent from the agency as well. So the international agency has given the consent, and it has said that Japan had made international safety standard, and discharges of the treated water would have a negligible radiological impact to people and the environment. So what the international agency says, that it has a negligible impact on the people and the environment. So it is safe to release the water in the Pacific Ocean. So what is the controversy related to it? So many environmental experts are saying that Japan is downplaying the radioactive element of the release of the water. It said that they are just downplaying, and they are just diminishing the effect, and they are showing that the effect could be minimal, so it will not impact the humans and the environment. But the reason is not like that. The situation will become more dense in the future, and they are saying that there is a threat to the marine environment, marine life, and there is also threat to the contamination of the water. So these are the concerns related to this topic. So moving to the next slide. So next slide is about how will the water be prepared before release. So there is a question that they will release the contaminated water in the Pacific Ocean or not. And is the international agency allowing that, they should release the contaminated water in the Pacific Ocean? Then the answer would be definitely no. International agency has not allowed to release the water in contaminated state. They had allowed to release the water in the filtered form or in the purified form. So what they will do, so they will filter the water. So with the help of ALPS technology or ALPS system, they will filter the water. And what is the full form of ALPS? Advanced Liquid Processing System. And what ALPS will do, so ALPS will filter 62 different radionuclides, but there is a problem in it that it cannot filter radioactive isotope tritium. So there is so many concern related to it, and so many experts are saying that this is going to be harmful for the nature and for the people. So what is the TEPCO saying? So what is TEPCO here? So TEPCO is a company who is dealing with the dysfunction nuclear power plant. So TEPCO is saying that, we are releasing the purified water, and this will not affect the human, and this will not affect the marine environment, and this will not affect the overall environment. So they are saying that, we are releasing the filtered thing, and if we are not able to reach 1500 BQ per liter, then we will refilter it again, and we will keep repeating this process until we will not achieve the filtered water form. So these are the reasons the TEPCO is giving. So moving to the next slide. So next slide is about how dangerous is tritium, because in the last slide we have discussed about the tritium, because the ALPS technology is unable to filter the tritium. So what is this tritium? So tritium is a form of hydrogen substance which naturally occur in the Earth's atmosphere, and it is radioactive, but it is not life-threatening like cesium-137 or strontium-90. So, and it emits a weak beta particle, and it can be stopped by a sheet of plastic and human skin. And because of that, so many experts are saying that, this is not harmful and life-threatening for the human. But there is a question that if something is not life-threatening, that it should not be taken in a light manner. It should be taken in a serious manner, because in the long term, it will affect the human, and it will also affect the marine environment. So, moving to the next slide. So next slide is about how the Pacific Ocean acts as a massive diluent. So there is a radio ecologist whose name is Stenhauser. So according to Stenhauser, it said that the solution to pollution is dilution. And he says that if you will dilute something to a point at which it's no longer dangerous, it is safe. It means that, he's saying that it is safe to dilute the nuclear power plant water to the Pacific Ocean because it is in a safe condition. So it will not create much pollution, it will not create much harm to the environment and to the people. So they are saying that, and that this is once safe for the human, it's safe for the whole environment. But so many experts are saying that, how you can say that the things which are safe for the humans, that are safe for the animals also. Few things are very safe for the humans, but that are not safe for the animals, that are not safe for the fishes. So there is a problem in it, and there is a problem in the research part also. So moving to the next slide. Next slide is related to the what are the alternatives for dealing with the Fukushima cooling water. So many experts are saying that there should be other alternative search for this thing, and they had also suggested few alternatives, and there are two alternatives we have. The first alternative is that installing more storage tank, and the second is allowing the cooling water to evaporate. But there is problem in it, because the area where this thing has been stored is a earthquake prone area, and so many radio ecologists and experts are saying that that should not be installed in the earthquake prone area, and it will create more debacle to the environment. And the second thing is that if you will evaporate tritium, then it will release the radioactive element, which will be very harmful for the human, harmful for the environment. So, and it's very hard to control the radioactive element. So in such situation, how you can say that all these two options are very safe to use? So this is the best option, that the filtered water should be released to the Pacific Ocean. So this is the solution Japan government and the international agency has found about this problem. So moving to the next slide. Next slide is related to the practice question for prelims. Consider the following statement regarding tritium. The first statement is it is a radioactive isotope of hydrogen. The second is it is used as a tracer in biomedical research to study and diagnose heart disease. So Which of the statement given above is are correct? Your options are 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, neither 1 nor 2. So this thing is very important and dangerous for the environment, and we need to discuss about this thing, because this is not just limited to the Japan, because the water will be released to the Pacific Ocean and it will affect the whole world. So this thing is highly alarming for the environment and in the people. So this thing is highly important for your mains exam. So be prepared for your mains exam as well. I hope you like this lecture. If you have any queries related to this lecture, kindly ask in the comment section. Thank you.